for you guys today. Today I'm going to talk to you about Helen of Troy, who should be on topic for you guys right now anyway, because that new flick's about to drop, right? And it looks like it could be a good one, right? I think the last time we got a good Greek film was Troy, right? With Brad Pitt, and that gives us a little bit of the story of Helen of Troy. But I think this film is going to focus more on who Helen was, right? And here's the thing: it wasn't easy being Helen, man. Like, this was not an easy route to being Helen. She went through a lot, and this is a woman that, man, this is beyond beautiful, right? Like, when we talk about Helen of Troy, we're talking about really one of the most beautiful things to ever exist on a planetary body. She was not, like, Helen of Troy wasn't just bad. She wasn't just a bad chick, right? She wasn't just, like, think about, like, Helen of Troy is mythic for beautiful in a place that's mythic and full of beautiful women. These are goddesses everywhere you turn. You're tripping over goddesses everywhere you go. And here's the thing: every single one of these goddesses is just ridiculously gorgeous, right? Like, that's what a goddess. There was not an ugly goddess, right? Even Medusa was so banging. This is a tragic story, by the way, the Medusa story. We'll talk about that separate. I'm not trying to bring any additional pain upon Medusa. I'm simply saying that Medusa was also considered exceptionally beautiful, right? Before all that nonsense. And Medusa, you got wronged, okay? You got wronged by Poseidon, but you also got wrong. The system let you down as well. And we'll talk about, like, how the system let Medusa down later. Because right now, I need us to actually understand who Helen of Troy was, okay? Now, this is it. Now, Helen of Troy, we remember the stories about Helen of Troy, right? We remember the outcomes of the Helen of Troy. Like, people will say right now, well, who was Helen of Troy? Well, she's that chick, that started the Trojan War. And you would be wrong. You would be wrong, because that's not, like, beauty doesn't just start a war. Beauty isn't what starts a war. She was something entirely different. And I'm telling you guys this because you need to understand that Helen of Troy was magical. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Like, when you see whole kingdoms going crazy over possessing a woman, that's not just because she's fine. Okay? In fact, that didn't benefit the rest of us. Right? Like, I don't really care who you walking through the White House with, right? I mean, in terms of how she looks, I don't really care. Is she presentable? Is she smart? Like, you know what I'm saying? It don't really matter, to me at least, if the first lady's hot, right? Like, obviously, we don't want someone who looks like a monster, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, that's not what makes our country great, right? That's not what Helen was. Helen was on another level of, damn, she's fine. And I'm telling you guys this, like, where she was at, where Helen of Troy was at with her fine, is at a divine level. I'm so gorgeous that it's divine. Literally. I mean, like, I know. You guys are gonna look around and you're gonna tell me, man, there's some banging chicks out there in the world. There are. I'm not saying that there's not, right? I'm saying that her ability to charm was not strictly based on her physical looks. That's what I'm saying about Helen. She was not, like, Helen was something else. Helen was a creature, a being, however you wanted to see it, who was so beautiful that she warped reality around her. Okay? This is what Helen actually was. I don't know if this is one of the few times that I would go to Greek mythology and be like, yeah, you're not really giving me enough. Right? We didn't get enough of Helen. We didn't get enough actual understanding of who Helen of Troy actually was. And this is important because, like, if we look at the history of Helen of Troy, it's kind of tragic at the same time, right? Like, it's kind of messed up for Helen, right? Because you're so fun. Like, this should have been a start of the Me Too movement. Leave me alone, right? Because, like, she is always subject to interpretation. Who Helen is, if she's sinister, if she's manipulative, what Helen is is always subject to interpretation. Helen just doesn't get to tell her own story, right? Never. We didn't really hear Helen talk, right? But who she was matters, because Helen repeatedly causes, or I should say is associated with, kingdoms abandoning logic, right? Alliance systems collapsing in entirety. Like, people who were aligned with each other broke alliances because somebody was trying to get a Helen. That's how entire civilizations reorganized themselves around her existence. Even like older kings, right? Like, people who walked away still were like, I get it. Older, wiser kings who was like, oh yeah, I see why. She wasn't just a beautiful woman. She was something else. She was almost like a divine thing herself. Now let's remember where I'm going. And the mythology doesn't expressly say it within the mythology, or at least I haven't seen anything that was revealed. But what I'm doing is I'm watching her gravity. I'm watching her gravity and I'm understanding her origins, okay? Let's remember now that Helen of Troy is the daughter of Zeus, right? She's a daughter of Zeus. I don't know how much stuff you watch Zeus make that wasn't pretty good and dang divine, right? If Zeus makes anything, it's probably going to be at least a demigod. The worst he's going to do is a demigod. The worst he did was like a hero, right? Like, I think the lesser of all his children was like Perseus, who was a great hero. And I say lesser because you weren't Hercules, right? I say lesser because you weren't the strongest man ever. But Jason was pretty good, right? Like, Perseus was pretty dang good, right? The guy who stopped the Minotaur. That was the seed of Zeus. So whenever Zeus, any of the children that Zeus had, and he had like a billion of them, right? Because we don't know all Zeus's kids. Like, we gonna stop that we know all Zeus's kids and all Zeus's, baby godmother. Whatever terminology we're gonna use for this. So this is who Helen of Troy is. This is not a regular woman. She was never a regular woman. Let's remember that. She's the daughter of Zeus, and she's also deeply tied to Aphrodite. Now, okay, so this is the part where we got to kind of cook a little bit, because if we know who Aphrodite was, this wasn't no regular one either, man. Like, this is the height of beautiful. Remember, like, her story? She's born fully formed in the conch shell, right? From the ocean, like, she's kind of like, ODB of beauty. She's like the old dirty bastard of beauty. Her style ain't got no father. That was ODB's, right? He's the old dirty bastard because his style ain't got no father. That's her. That's Helen. She came out the gate with, like, how like the song "She Get It From Her Mama." That's when you see a girl, you're like, oh man, you're beautiful. See a really beautiful girl. Usually there's a beautiful old lady around, like her moms or her grandmas, right? The beauty just kind of passes down. You look like your mom's, right? She get it from her mom. I think it was a song Juvenile talked about, right? When she was backing it up, where'd you get it from? I get it from my mom. That's where you get it from, okay? Aphrodite didn't get it from nobody. Aphrodite herself is the source. So that's the thing. Like, Aphrodite herself is the source. What is the connection ultimately between Aphrodite and Helen? Because this fundamentally is going to, and again, remember, she is the daughter of Zeus, so she already gets divine blessings. And her blessing is how she warps reality. It's not just beauty. Like in fact, let me see if I can pull up a picture of let me see if I can pull up a picture of Athena, right? Like Aphrodite, right? Because Aphrodite herself was mad off the hook, right? Like, Aphrodite was out there. She was tearing stuff down too, man. Like, Aphrodite was no joke in the realm of the deities. Like, she was kind of given to Hephaestus, right? But at the same time, like, she was having a full affair with Ares that everybody knew about. Like, everybody knew about this, right? It wasn't even like a well-hidden secret. Ares was like, yeah. I mean, because Ares didn't care. Ares wasn't trying to hide it. She didn't try to hide it. And Ares was like, whatever, what are you going to do about it? I'm Ares. I don't even care, right? Which is true for him. He didn't care, okay? But Hephaestus got them all back. Like, he got them back. He did get his licks in, for that whole Ares debacle, right? Like how Ares did it wrong. He got him back. He builds a trap for the gods, and he proves who the source of real power is, right? So if any of you guys who are worried about Hephaestus, like, don't worry about Hephaestus. He got it, right? Like, Hephaestus really, in one moment, it wasn't one moment, but a series of traps, he established, like, how powerful his brain was. So Hephaestus got his hit back, okay? But you got to understand Athena right here, okay? Her beauty has no style. She emerged from this conch shell, formed as this great beauty. And this beauty was also about how you felt, right? This was emotion. This is where a lot of the gods, we attribute their physical, their lightning abilities, or when they can move earth, whatever weapons. We forget gods possess the ability to manipulate emotions at the highest level. They have the ability to inspire worship. Like, I think it's like Athena. It's not Athena, man. There's a Greek war goddess. Oh, it's Roman. I think it's Bellona, right? If you look at Bellona, like, she hypes people up to go fight. She, like, usually rolls with Ares a lot, and they're like, yeah, she'll get you mad hyped up to go win a war. And she's all like hype. Yeah, let's go. Like, she's like the ultimate at giving a pep talk before you guys go into battle. Like, everyone should have her in her locker room, before a game 7 in the finals, right? That's how insane she is. So gods have the ability to influence your emotions, to get you to worship, to get you loyalty to a king, loyalty to your empire, right? Courage, bravery, all those things, right? And this isn't exclusive to Greek mythology. So Helen is in this line. Like, Helen symbolically is very much linked to Athena, right? She is kind of said, this is where she is, okay. This will sum it up the easiest. Helen is said to be the human manifestation of Aphrodite. Not that they are the same thing. She is just a manifestation of her domain. That's what I should say. Not that she is a physical manifestation of Aphrodite. She is a manifestation of Aphrodite's domain. This domain of beauty, this trend-setting, like, start to beauty, where, like, shock and awe, right? I'm on a whole nother level. Like, come on, I mean, for Zeus to marry Hera, like, Hera's banging too, right? Like, all these are goddesses, right? The ultimate in beauty, the ultimate in power, the ultimate in intelligence. They're all that. But Aphrodite, that was something a little different, man. It's like when you go back and you watch the old Dream Team, right? The original Dream Team with Magic and Bird, that Barkley on there. Everybody was there. Like, oh, we got our biggest stars. And then Jordan walked in, right? And it's a little bit different. Like, it's a little bit different when Jordan walked in, right? Like, we see it. Like, you see it at the All-Star games. Everybody pounding everybody up. And Mike was still kind of the center of gravity. Just like in the casual moments when they're in the locker room, like, there's a great scene. I don't know what year All-Star game this is, but MJ's talking to the guys, and he's talking about, like, Kobe, right? And he's still the center. Everybody's listening to MJ. He's like, and he's chilling. Like, he's doing him. He's, like, lacing up the sneakers. He's not even tripping with it. He's the center of the gravity, right? That is who Helen is. She's a little bit different than everybody else. She's on a whole nother level. She is the manifestation of this beauty that distorts reality. This is what I'm getting at. None of this stuff is by accident, because I'm saying she represents what Aphrodite is as a physical, earthbound manifestation that moved among mortals. But this is who Aphrodite is. So that is the connection. And the connection goes deeper because the story that she is most famous for, right, is her role in the Trojan War. Well, of course, who was this all about? All right, this was about Athena. So it's Athena, man, who it is, man. It's Athena, it's Hera. It's Aphrodite, Hera, and Athena, okay? And the contest, like, who came up with this? I don't even know why they would throw it out there. But the contest was who was the most beautiful of the three of them. All right. So again, it's ego. And, Aphrodite's like, come on, man. Like, seriously, again, you got. I'm a Lakers fan. I'm not gonna lie about it. I'll take Irvin Magic Johnson, my number one pick for all eternity. Magic is my number one pick. Okay. I don't want to hear nothing about it. Okay. But you got all three of them right there. You got Bird, you got Magic, you got Jordan, right? And each one of them says, man, who's the GOAT? Right now, right? This was what Athena, this is what Hera, and this is what Aphrodite had a conversation about, right? And this is such a hot topic that Zeus himself was like, yeah, I'm out. Zeus was like, I'm not touching this, man. Because Zeus knew this was going to be a problem, right? Zeus don't check out of nothing, man. And Zeus done looked at everybody. Zeus done looked at every single one of them. Like, man, Aphrodite, he might have to change into somebody. He probably changed into somebody that you are intimate with and you just didn't know, right? Zeus does not pass up on opportunities. But Zeus says right then and there, right? I'm just skipping out on this one, man. I'm really, really skipping out on this. Because this was going to be a problem. So each one of them who got to win this fight now, right? This contest of beauty, each one of them makes they start bribing it. So Zeus skips out and it comes down to Paris. Paris, who is this prince of Troy, right? The troublemaker, right? This guy is the troublemaker, okay? So what Paris does is, each of the goddesses makes him an offer. Like, I think Athena, Hera offers him political power, wealth, all this stuff, right? In the political realm. Athena makes an offer to him, and it's influence or winning what something what's in her domain, right? What does Aphrodite offer? She says, I'll get you. I'll make sure you get with the most beautiful woman the most beautiful human on the planet. The most beautiful woman in the world will be yours. So Paris was like, all right. I know you're going for a 10, but man, you could have 1 10 or you could have 10 9s. I'm just saying, you live in the Greek world at this time, right? But he chooses this. Now, of course, we know the problem is that, Helen's already married to a complete dick in Menelaus, right? Just a jerk, right? Who wants war and who ultimately wanted to take down the Empire of Troy. There would be a reason for this, that, man, I just don't want to get my stuff ripped down off of YouTube again. So I learned my lesson. So sorry, YouTube. I ain't going to talk about the why they wanted to attack Troy, but they did. Just do your own research on this one, man. Be open-minded about things. That's all I'm asking. So at any rate, Menelaus is like, man, he took your girl. You getting clowned by people. They going by in their boats laughing at you, right? Because you're a king, warrior king. Man, Paris took your chick. It's the toughest thing because Helen, not only is that, yours, right? This is your woman who you get in the bed with every day. And she's the most beautiful thing among all humans. But Helen is still more than that. She's actually a lot more than that, right? What Helen actually is she is all the desires. She is status. This is who she becomes. She's status. She is indicative of divine favor, right? She is possession. This is the possession that you want. She is conquest. She is validation. She is fantasy fulfillment. This is who Helen actually is. She's not just a super hot chick. She's not that, right? Right? This is Jay-Z would say, remember how he said it? I got the baddest chick in the game wearing my chain. That's Helen. She's mythical. When you got Helen by your side, that means the gods is rolling. It didn't mean that in this case. And for Troy, it meant everything the opposite of this. But this is what she represented. That's why men lost their mind. They might be looking at her yeah, man, look at that. But all this stuff is also baked into who Helen is, okay? That's why people would go crazy over Helen. People would just be look, you talk about shooting your shot, how do they do it? Man, going on, I'm willing to risk it all. Is that how they be doing it? I'm willing to risk it all. That's what Helen is. I will tear this whole place down for Helen. I don't care about nobody else down here. I don't care about anybody else in the country. Yeah, we're going to go to war and some of you guys are going to die. But at the end of it, I'm going to have a really hot girlfriend. That's who Helen was because she represented all these things. And beauty, like the beauty part of it, it's what we focus on the most, obviously, but that's kind of minimizing what she actually does. She is a powerhouse. She has the ability to make humans, great leaders, whole civilizations obsess over her. Not that she's doing, and again, we don't get enough of Helen talk. Like, Helen, yeah, she's nice to look at. I don't even know what her voice sounds like, right? There's nobody ever asked Helen anything, and they should. And simultaneously, Helen has been judged as like evil, as being manipulative, sometimes being a victim. We don't know. We have no idea what's going on in Helen's noodle because no one asked Helen. We've never put a mic. So Helen, what do you think about this? She might have a whole different take that would shock every single one of us, right? But the thing about it is, like, no matter what she says, it's not romance, right? Like, this is even the thing when we talk about Aphrodite. And again, she is linked to, she is a manifestation of Aphrodite. This is who she is. Aphrodite, nobody said Aphrodite was romance. Anybody ever talked about Aphrodite being romance or loyalty or none of that stuff? Nobody even said Aphrodite was good. Aphrodite is compulsion, right? Aphrodite is attraction. She's irrational desire, right? You lose it for love, right? I'm addicted to love. That's who she is. She is loss of judgment. She's like, I'm willing to wild out for love. And we all romanticize it. It's like, oh yeah, this is great. You're wilding out for love. That's because Athena put that thought in your head. She'll drive you crazy, man. If you're out someplace and you're chilling, you're like with your boys or whatever, and you look up and you see Athena and you guys make eye contact, you in trouble. You in trouble, buddy. You in trouble, and probably your entire crew is all jacked up because of what you're gonna do later. I would rather date Inanna, when I think Inanna is a terrible person, right? So this is who she is. And like Aphrodite, man, she's quietly a savage because her ability works on the gods too. They're not immune to her. The gods are not immune to Aphrodite. So even Zeus keeps a careful distance. Again, this is his daughter, but that kind of never stopped him anyway, right? This is Zeus we're talking about. But this is the point, is like, she is biological override. She is a system reboot. She is in her gravity. Like, you know what she's like? She's like when Shaq was at his dominance, right? And you would throw Shaq into the post, the ball in the Shaq in the post, and everybody had to sink in. Because everybody was watching the big fella, because everybody's going to have to defend against this. And people were turning their backs on open shooters, right? People were losing their defensive side, or getting hit by back doors because Shaq's on the court. He is gravity. He is gravity. That's what it is. That's who she is. Zeus struggles against this. Ares was just completely like wilding out. He went all emotion. And those people become like very easy to control for someone who has this ability. Again, I've never heard a thought from Helen. I can't think of anything, right, about what she actually had to say about any of this stuff and what it all meant to her. But this is what she is. She has an effect that collapses reason. Kingdoms destabilize because of her. Because here's the thing, Paris was tripping, right? You got the gods are like, yeah, we're going to give you this woman to be your wife. Oh, by the way, you got to pay the taxes on the thing they're due right now. That's what they did. We're going to give you the wife. We're going to make it magically happen. And then, oh yeah, there's a fleet of angry Greeks who are coming over here to destroy your kingdom because of it. The alliances broke down because of that. And he didn't want to give her up. And even I don't think they went hard enough in the movie about what her actual effect was. Why the king? When they did Troy with Brad Pitt, they took all the mythology out of it. It was still a great movie, but that was intentional. They took all the mythology. I don't think we saw any gods walk around doing stuff, or they didn't talk about his blessings of Achilles, any of that stuff. So we didn't really get to see that. So it was a story without the mythology part of it. But that's where we lose a lot of the effect, because this is what it is. This is who she is. She destabilized the kingdom's ability to make rational decisions. If you're about to get invaded, look, King, I just checked out, man, King Prius, right? Prius. I know these cats, man. I got a friend named Prius. Hey, King Prius. Okay, it's about to go down, man. These Greeks are out here. I know we holding them off, but come on, man. It's a lot of people gonna die in all these world, man. Or we could give him back his wife. I'm sorry, Helen. I'm sorry, Helen. Okay, I'm sorry. You're one person, and we have to look out for everybody in this kingdom. So it's not fair for us to do that. If you had been his wife first, we could defend it, but we're not gonna let our people die because you want to have your. I'm sorry. I know he's gonna be upset with you, right? And I know they're worried about what Menelaus would do to her. Again, she's the daughter of Zeus. I don't know if he'd done anything to her. That's the other part. I'm sure Zeus's daughter wasn't getting her ass beat. She had somebody to call, right? She didn't have to call her brother. If she called her brothers, it was going to be a problem. So I don't know that Menelaus was like putting hands on her like they made it seem. He'd seem like a jerk. And in the non-mystical version of it, I'm sure that mattered more, okay? But this is the scenario she is, where even the people of Troy were making poor decisions because they could not part with her. She wasn't even from that family. She wasn't even from there. And they would not give her up to save the entire city from ultimately was complete destruction. Children were killed. Families were devastated. The whole city was looted. Just give her ass back. I know that the Greeks wanted to go in there anyway. That was the whole thing. Like, Troy was meant to fall. You know, that's actually like the deeper part of it. Is per the Greek myths, they wanted Troy to fall. They 100% wanted Troy to fall. So it's probably why Helen ended up there, because that also gets into the whole story of Memnon and Achilles, right? Memnon, remember, was there, who was fighting for Troy, okay? And they were basically to a standstill, and Zeus ends up giving an edge to Achilles. Right in the middle of this hotly contested battle, which is proven to be like, man, it's right there. These guys are going in at toe to toe. This is like prime MJ, prime Kobe going at it, right? Like, somebody's gonna lose, right? We know it, but right now, through the first 5 points, they're dead. It's a dead heat, right? And then Zeus interferes, and this is so Troy was going to fall anyway. Perhaps Helen was part of the mechanism that would lead to this. So even when we look at Helen, like, for all that she is, like, in this mythology, in this realm, we typically equate beauty with goodness. Attractiveness means you're intelligent, you're moral, right? You have a value. Those are all the things that we write about Helen. And Helen has this ultimate effect. People reshape the world that they live in around her. And even the Greek writers can't fully decide whether they want her to be a victim, whether she's a manipulator herself, whether she's a prisoner, whether she herself is a curse, right? Because the way they barter her, even among the gods are like, having Helen is the same value as having political power. She is the same worth of having a great army. That's what the offers were for this bet with Paris. Having her meant you had that, right? Remember, I got the baddest chick in the game wearing my chain. That matters a lot in this world. So Helen herself even blurs the objectivity of who she is. I don't think we've gotten a good look at who Helen of Troy was ever. I don't know if we've seen a version, and maybe I'm missing some stuff here. We haven't seen a version of her that explains her to us. We never let Helen tell us who Helen is in her own words. That hasn't happened, right? And that's kind of the thing, because it kind of makes her almost a tragic figure. But maybe she's not. Like, maybe the tragic figure nature is actually robbing her of agency. Maybe she's like, yeah, I wanted Troy to fall, and I wanted a vacation. I figured I'd come over to Troy, hang out for a little while. I knew they'd clean up and destroy the whole civilization, but I got all my stuff out. We don't know what her angle was, so we can't ascribe it to her. We don't know if she's bad or not. Like, so those thoughts about who Helen is, whether she's a victim, whether she's being manipulated herself, whether she's a manipulator, we can't really draw good conclusions about. I look at her like another really, classically beautiful character, right? Which is Jessica Rabbit, who's like, I'm not evil, I'm just drawn that way, right? Has the same kind of effect where she has a gravity. Obviously, in the cartoon world, the gravity gets real hot real quick, and Jessica Rabbit just puts it out there like full time, right? Like there's no slowing Jessica Rabbit down. So that's kind of who Helen is. I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way. And men have always fought to control her. So we get into a lot of like conversations just about like misogyny and like, look, I get it. This is me too. Like, was men would abandon their duties trying to get at her. Kings would betray their best allies. Like reason would collapse. That's not just she's fine, right? War became emotionally inevitable. People like get angry about her. Ships sailed for her face. Ships sailed. Men went to war. Men who would never touch her, or maybe even not even see her, would go to war to reclaim her or bring her back to where they thought she should be, right? So this kind of reminds me of like glamour magic. That's what it feels like. Like in her presence, it makes you feel like going crazy. She's destabilizing you, maybe not intentionally, but maybe, right? She's an emotional manipulator, possibly. She is a psychic intoxicant, or at worst, she is mass delusion herself. People under Aphrodite's influence frequently stop acting in their own best interest, and that's what we see from Helen on a very human scale. So Helen becomes this apex expression of that force, that destabilizing force. Now, she's often portrayed as being manipulated by the gods, that somehow she's enchanted, like, oh, that's how she fell in love with Paris, that she's spiritually compelled to do these things, and that she functions like some type of divine pawn. Almost like she's like, I don't know, the golden fleece. This thing that can be gifted or granted, and we'll just move her around or whatever. So they treat her less like a person, right? She's less of a person and more of a thing, a phenomenon, a blessing, a divine taste, right? A divine test. Like she is like the embodiment of destructive longing. So when we start talking about her, we're talking glamour, we're talking celebrity culture, lust, parasocial obsession, image worship, beauty-driven rationality. Helen becomes all those things, and we sum it up as men fought over her. But also men died over her. Men killed over her. This is not her fault as far as we can tell, but there was something that was beyond just, man, she's really nice to look at. Oh, she has great skin, I want to touch her. All that stuff existed, but that really reduces Helen down to just her physical traits. She was a magical thing. She was as powerful as an army itself. She was like having the golden fleece. This made you legitimate. Having her by your side, having her in your kingdom meant you had a good kingdom going, right? It was prosperous times because she brought that. That's the outward look. What we see is that most often she destabilized, or the places where she went were destabilized. They started to make irrational decisions. They became focused, and maybe that's what this divine tool was supposed to do. So that's my thoughts on Helen, man. Obviously, they got a new flick coming out. It's going to have Lupita Nyong'o starring in this movie. I'm excited about it. It's another good look at Greek culture, so it should be highly entertaining. We're already seeing some images and things that are coming out. So hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think about this particular topic. What else I should talk about? There's got some new films coming out. I'm definitely staying on like my mythological lanes, but trying to make sure we get as many modern topics in it. So as always, appreciate you guys stopping in. I'm going to click off on TikTok. Thank you, TikTok, for staying in, fam. And a nice amount of people coming in. YouTube, you're a little bit quieter today, but as always, you're my core. Couldn't be here without you, wouldn't be here without you. And then, of course, Facebook, I'm going to check out of here too. Let's get you off. And I may be back on later today. Let's see, it's like 5. Yeah, I'll probably be back on, and I'll do another live session for you guys. But let me know what you're interested in talking about.